Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to explain you about the Fayol's principles of management and Taylor's scientific management. What are the main essential components in the principles of management and scientific management? Today, I am going to explain you in clear-cut manner. First, what do you mean by the principles of management? Basically, before I go further, what do you mean by the principle? It is a fundamental statement that provides guidance to thought and our action. So, before taking any decision, this provides some guidance for taking decision making. That is the principle. The principles of management, this is provides the proper guidelines for managerial decision making and behavior. They are going to provide proper guidelines for the practice of the management. For any management practitioner, if they follow principles of management, they are going to implement their decisions effectively, efficiently, and appropriately. Right. So, what is the nature of the principles of management? I am going to describe some of the few points about what is the nature. The nature is it should be universally applicability, general guidelines formed by practice and experimentation, and there should be flexible, and there should also be behavior. There should always interpret the cause and effect relationship, and there should be contingent. Right. I will go one by one here. First, universal applicability means what are the principles of management we are going to follow that should be applicable to all types of organizations, businesses, as well as non business organizations, small and medium and large scale enterprises. It should be universally applicable. The first nature of the principles of management. Then, second one is a general guidelines. They provide general guidelines for decision making. What do you mean by the decision making? Choosing one best alternative from various other alternatives is known as the decision making. So, the principles of management, another nature is they are going to provide ready made solutions, and sometimes uh, even the business environment is continuously changing. So, sometimes they should not follow the ready made solutions. Instead, depend on the situation, we need to follow. So, what general guidelines means, they are going to provide general guidelines for decision making. The third one is a formed by practice and experimentation. They are well developed, and they are framed all the policies and principles of management on the basis of taking the feedback of experienced managers. The fourth one is flexible. See, here, another nature of the principles of management is should be flexible, it should not be rigid. What do you mean by flexible? It's depend on the situation we need to follow. Demands of the situation. As these are the man-made principles, continuously changing. Depend on the situation we need to follow. It should not be rigid. And fifth one is mainly behavioral, because after all, we all are human beings. We have some strengths as well as weaknesses. So the principles of management is all means always depend on the basis of behavioral in nature. Then cause and effect relationship, it should be between the cause and effect, so that it can be used in all similar situations. What is the cause and what is the effect? If advertisement cost increases, sales may increase. The cause and effect, the relationship between cause and effect should establish properly. Then contingent. So the what is the situations? Management principles or capsules of selected management wisdom to be used carefully and discreetly. So applicability totally depend on the prevailing situation at a particular point of time. So it is a contingent in nature. Then, having said the nature of principles of management, now I am moving on to the significance of the principles of movement management. Basically, as I mentioned earlier, this is very good guidelines for decision making purpose. So it is also providing managers with useful insights into reality And second one is the optimum utilization of resources and effective administration, scientific decisions, meeting the changing the all the requirements, management training, education and research, fulfilling the social responsibility. So one by one. See, so first is providing managers with useful insights into reality. Means right decisions at right time, it right manner, at right place. So it will be providing improving their knowledge, ability, and understanding of various managerial situation and circumstances. So this is the importance of principles of management is providing managers with useful insights into reality. The next one is optimum utilization of resources and effective administration. See, always our resources are minimum, and we have to use their resources with optimal way. So by coordinating physical, financial, and human resources, then only they can develop better administration by encouraging the people and adopting the objective approach. Right. And then scientific decisions. Decisions based on the management principles tend to be realistic, balanced, and free from personal bias. Means always the decisions will be taken on the in objective manner. Then the fourth one is a meeting the changing environmental requirements. So here you see that the environment is a dynamic in nature, it's continuously changing. So depend on the environmental changes, we have to meet the certain goals, and we have to provide the leadership and help the organization to implement the changes. Then fulfilling the social responsibility. See, the main objective of any business is not just profit maximization, it should also perform some social responsibilities. See, in this social responsibility is not just contribute to the society, instead they should provide equity and fair remuneration to the employees is also one of the component in the social responsibility, right? Then management training, education, and research. So, management principles are helpful in identifying the future and existing managers. They should be trained, and they should also provide for future research, because as we are in the competitive world and competitive arena, we should always think about what kind of actions we are going to take in future, so that our business survive in a long run. So this is the thing. Then I will move on to the Fayol's principles of management. The most important topic in this aspect is Fayol's principles of management. Henri Fayol, he has got degree in mining engineering and joined a French mining company. But what happened is the when the company was in the bankruptcy, when bankruptcy means when the assets are less than the liabilities, when the liabilities are more in that company than the assets, he accepted the challenge, and he has used his broad administrative experience. He turned the fortune of the company. So, for his contribution, he is well known as a father of general management. So, Fayol's principles of management is crucial even today's situation also. In many organizations and institutions are following the Fayol's principles of management. So, these are the very important to understand each and every principles of management in every organization. So I will go one by one. See, these are the Henry Fayol's 14 principles of management. First is division of work, authority, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination interest to the general interest, remuneration, centralization, scalar chain, order, equity, stability, initiative, esprit de corps. These are the 14 principles of management. So, first, what do you mean by the division of work? So, the fails always stressed on the specialization of the jobs. So, work is should be divided in the small task and subdivided if necessary, and allotted to the various persons according to their expertise in that particular area. This is called division of work. Subdivision of work always makes simpler, and it results more efficiency. So, which leads to greater efficiency, specialization, and increased productivity. What do you mean productivity? Using in less input, getting more output is known as productivity. Input by output, and reduction of unnecessary wastage and movements in the work culture. So the division of work is divided into different parts of the work, and who are the specialists in that, who are the trained in that, they you should allot the work to them. That is the first one, division of work. Then authority and responsibility, they are coexisting each other. See, authority and responsibility should go hand in hand. If you are giving more responsibility without authority, it will be less interested in discharging its duties. Similarly, at the same time, if you are providing, giving authority without assigning any responsibility, what will happen? There will be misuse of power. So, what he has to do is, authority and responsibility should be balanced, should go in hand. If you are providing any authority to the particular person, you should also provide responsibility. So there should be balance between the two. They must go hand in hand. So authority without responsibility is irresponsible behavior, whereas responsibility without authority makes a person ineffective. So authority and responsibilities also go hand in hand. The third fails principles of management is a discipline. So what he has to do, see, subordinate should always obedient to the organizational rules and regulations, in similar to the top management also. Discipline requires to the all levels, top, middle and lower level managements. Clear and fair agreement should be provided, judicious application should be provided. So these are all called discipline is major component in the principles of management. The fourth one, unity of command. So unity of command means a principle of one boss. So it implies that every worker should receive orders and instructions from one superior only. Otherwise, what will happen? It will create chaos, confusion, conflicts. They don't know what to do, where to report, what exactly we need to accomplish, and conflict, disturbance, and overlapping activities. So only one boss to the every worker. See, unity of direction. So each group of activities having the same objective must have one and one plan. This normally to ensure unity of action and coordination. So unity of direction, failure advocates one had one plan, which means there should be one plan for group activities having similar objectives. If you are having the one plan, you should go with the one head only. According to this principle, what happened? Efforts of all members of the organization should be directed towards common goal. So that is why unity of direction is always needed. Right. Subordination of interest to individual interest to general interest means the interest of organization should always take into the consideration of any individual interest or any individual employee. If they are making some point, you have to take the point into the consideration and take the priority over the interest of the organization. And let me tell you, what is the difference between unit of command and unit of direction here. What exactly here? Unit of command, it implies that subordinates should receive orders from only one boss. Here, one head, one plan. Nature, functioning of personals, and it is a functioning of departments. Necessity, fixing the responsibility for sound and efficient organization. Advantage, avoids conflicts. Here, avoid duplication of errors, duplication of efforts, wastage resources, and results it better superior relationship and its smooth functioning of the enterprise. Then another seventh fails principles of management is remuneration to employees. So, what exactly it will be that? See, the overall pay and compensation should be fair both to employees and the organization. As far as possible, it should accord the satisfaction to both employers and employees. Wages and should be determined on the basis of cost of living, work assigned to them, financial position of the business, wage rate prevailing in that market. All things should be taken into the consideration. Remuneration of employees should be fair. Then centralization and decentralization. So centralization is concentration of decision making at one few hands. Decentralization means every distribution of power at every level of management. So what exactly? No organization should be completely centralized, and completely decentralized. So what exactly we need to do? Go for balanced uh, organization should always take centralization and decentralization in a more appropriate way, right? Then moving on to further, then scalar chain. Scalar chain means the formal lines of authority between superiors and subordinates from highest to lowest ranks. So this should not be violated. Every employee should report to the immediate supervisor. But in case of through blank, if any emergency, if anyone is violating, but in case of emergency, employees at the same level can contract through informing their immediate superiors or any other person in the case of emergency. Then order. So, a place for everything and everyone should be a designated place. So, what exactly the people and material will be suitable at that place so that it will provide maximum efficiency. What do you mean by order? I will explain much more manner. This principle is concerned with proper and systematic arranging of all things and people. Arrangement of things is called material order and placement of people is called social order. So, means the exact meaning of the order is keep and organize all the materials and people in an orderly way. Means uh, proper and systematic arrangement of things and people is known as an order, right? Then equity. See, equity means the combination of fairness, kindness, and justice. The working environment of any organization should be free from all forms of discrimination, irrespective of religion, language, caste, sex, beliefs, or basis of unit of command and unit of direction, nationality. See, it should be fair. The employees should be treated with kindness and equity if devotion is expected for them. So, it implies the manager should be fair and impartial while dealing with the subordinates. They should give similar treatment to people of similar position. They should not discriminate, whether it is a respect of caste or religion, whatever it may be. Equity is essential to maintain cordial relationship between the managers and the subordinates. They are maintaining the same good relationship with the subordinate and superior. Subordinate will respect the superior. At the same time, superior can also give respect to the subordinates in an organization. And the another one, stability of personnel. So after appointing the personnel, the human resources managers, so the religious procedure and selection should be kept at the post for minimum period decide to show the results. Stability of personnel. Otherwise, the personnel people may think that they should be insecure in their jobs. So initiative. What do you mean by the initiative? Workers should be encouraged to take initiative in the work assigned to them. Whatever the work they are going to carry out their plan for improvements. It means eagerness to initiate actions without being asked to do so. That is not naturally initiative. Without asking somebody to do this work, before that only you should take initiative to do the work. It is thinking out and executing the plan immediately. And spirit decops means unity is strength. Means always team spirit, harmony in the in the work groups, and mutual understanding among the members. So unity is strength. It can be achieved through unity of command also. So the spirit decops caution the managers against dividing the employees into competing groups because it might damage the moral of the workers and interest of the undertaking of the organizations in the long run. So this is what we call the 14 principles of management. Having said that, the another important aspect is Taylor scientific management. Here, the full name is Frederick Winslow Taylor. Is a person who, within the short duration, rose from ranks of an ordinary apprentice to the chief engineer with his scientific management principles. So, what he has joined in the Midwell Steel Company in USA, conducted a number of experiments and came to the conclusion that workers were producing much less than the targeted standard task. They are less utilized. Whatever the productivity has been decreased. The both parties, management and workers, are hostile towards each other. So he has given number of suggestions to solve this problem and providing more productivity with more efficiency. So the Taylor's, so that is why for his contributions he is well known as the father of scientific management. Father of scientific management. See what he exactly he told, that eliminate waste, ensure maximum production with minimum cost. This is what exactly the main objective he has provided in the scientific management. So some of the principles I am going to explain. Science, it's not rule of thumb. Harmony, not discord. Cooperation, not individualism. Development of each and every person to is our greatest efficiency and prosperity. Maximum, not restricted output. Then, first, science, it's not rule of thumb. Means he has to analyze any job in order to replace whole rule of thumb approach or hit and miss method. We should be constantly experimenting, develop new techniques, which makes the work much simpler and easier and quicker. So that is the first. It's not just rule of thumb. You have to implement some experimenting techniques, new techniques, so that the work will become more easier and more faster. Then harmony and not discard means there should be mental revolution part of the managers workers in order to respect each other's role and eliminate any class conflict to realize organizational objectives. So there should not be fight between the superiors and subordinates. Eliminate any class of conflicts. You should maintain harmony for producing maximum production. Then cooperation, not individualism, means so the workers should cooperate each other. The management should and workers should share the responsibility and perform together. The synergy effect, 1 plus 1 is equal to not 2, it's a 3, because if workers and management should cooperate each other, what will happen? The maximum production can be achieved. The fourth one is a development of each and every person to his our greatest efficiency and prosperity. So, after scientific selection of the employees, assigning work suited to their temperament, their expertise, their ability, and their suitableness, and this will increase the productivity and maximum, not restricted output. Both the management and workers should try to achieve maximum output in place of restricted output. So it will be providing beneficial to both the parties. If maximum output, what will happen? It will result higher wages and great profit for the management. What in turn the management, after getting the profit, it will almost distribute to the workers as well as the shareholders. So maximum output will lead to the maximum benefit to the workers as well as the management and society at large. And there are some techniques of the scientific management. So first one is a functional foremanship. Means it is a technique. Planning and execution should be separate. One person will do the plan and another person should be implemented. So 8 types of specialized professionals are implemented here. For each under planning and execution, who keep watch on all workers to extract optimum performance. What planning in charge will do, what execution in charge will do. Planning, he will do the root clerk to specify the exact sequence and route of production, and he instruct the concerned clerks for responsible for drafting instructions for the workers, and time and cost clerk to prepare time and cost sheet of the job, and sharp disciplinary to ensure discipline and enforcement rules and regulation among the workers. What production in charge will do, he will keep always tools and machines for ready for the operation, and speed boss is responsible for timely and accurate completion of the job. Repair boss to repair if there is any working conditions of tools and machines are getting distracted, and inspector to check quality of work. That is the first one. The second technique is standardization and simplification of the work. Standardization means developing standard for every business, whereas simplification means removing all different types of varieties of the product or service. Superfluous effective varieties should be removed from that. And the third technique is method of study. the best way of doing the job to maximize efficiency in the use of material, machinery, manpower, and capital. Motion study means it is the science of eliminating wasteness, how much time is taking by the workers uh, and machines to identify best method of work. Then time study, how much time is maintaining to perform the job. The objective of time study to determine the number of workers to be employed. Frame suitable incentive schemes, determine labor cost. And fatigue study. See, normally determine time and frequency of rest intervals in completing the task. See, rest intervals always make the workers regain their lost stamina and avoiding accidents, rejections, and industrial sickness. Then, differential piece waste system means if 10 one worker is manufacturing a 10 units and another one is a 15 units, if he is giving the same remuneration to all these two people, so there won't be any motivation for the performing worker. So always this system links wages and productivity. If your productivity is more, you are going to get more incentives and more remuneration as well. See here, just I have given example. Standard task is 10 units, rates 50 per unit for producing 10 units, and 40 per unit producing less than 10 units per worker. So if anyone produces 11 units, he is getting 550. If anyone is producing 9 units, he is getting 360 rupees piece pay system. So obviously the person who is doing more will get more motivation, and the person who is going to do less, he will also motivate to do more, manufacture more units. This is what you call. Then finally, the difference between Fayol's principles of management and Taylor's scientific management. Here, what is the nature of research is it is functional management. Here, scientific management is main. The Fayol's principles is mainly considered management efficiency. Here, it is workers efficiency. Here level, top level management, here lower level management. Here improving the overall administration by observing the principles is the main focus. Here increasing the productivity. Personality, developed personality of all the management people. Here it development of the scientist as well as the father of scientific management, is a father of general management. And major contribution is theory of management with the 14 principles of general management. But whereas Taylor's basis on the accomplishment of production line with the help of scientific techniques management. And human element is missing in Taylor scientific management, whereas human element is highly emphasized in the Fayol's principles of management. Rigidity, the principles were flexible, but whereas scientific management rigid approach, there is no deviation from standards. Applicability, his principles are applicable to all business. Here, his principles are applicable to production and manufacturing. Unit of command he is following, but where the unit of command is not followed in the scientific management. These are the ultimately the conclusion is Fayol's principles highlight the strategic and administrative aspects of the management, whereas Taylor's scientific management underscored the importance of work standardization, scientific analysis, and the efficient use of labor and resources. So, while it significantly improved productivity, but it has been so much criticism as far as the Taylor's scientific management is concerned, as it is a rigid structure and the human element is disregarded and missing of the human element in the labor labor policies. So, what exactly we need to do is see, while Fails focused on administrative and managerial principles, Taylor's concentrated on task efficiency and labor productivity should go that they're together, they're complement together each other, but they should go balanced way, holistic view of fail and tailor operation success, the balanced approach of both the principles of management and scientific management to achieve organizational success. This is what we call the fails principles of management and tailored scientific management. Thank you for watching, thank you for staying with me, thank you for your support and encouragement. Thank you one and all.